we can impact and we can help people really internationally. And so that's something that myself, as well as both Lydia's, are super passionate about. We're passionate about marketing, branding, and we're also passionate about touching lives elsewhere. We feel like we have been blessed abundantly, and this is an opportunity that we want to open up to any and everyone. So I actually had the privilege. I'll go a little into my story as we get started. I actually had the privilege last year to be at the grand opening of South Africa with Young Living, the company that many of us are associated with. And when I was there, what I saw is so many people that were just hungry for health, wellness, and finances. Okay. Many of them were struggling when it came to making a way for not only themselves as well as their families. And so I know for me, I think about when I first kind of got started. I come from the beauty industry, so I'm super passionate about skincare, hair care, all of those things. But if you know anything about the industry, I always likened us to struggling artists because we worked on commission for the most part. Um, there were different aspects of aesthetics that you could get into, but it might require more schooling, it might require more training, which of course calls for more money. And so as I was in the industry, I made very good money. I did very well. But there was a period of time where with my son, I actually ended up on bed rest with him for 5 months. It was unexpected. So I didn't have an accumulation of money set aside. And I saw myself in a place where because I couldn't work, I couldn't make income. And so for me, my heart really goes out to people that are looking for ways to expand. And so that's when I kind of got started with Young Living, mainly first and foremost for the health and wellness part of it. I was really looking for healing for my son. But the added bonus was all of the beautiful financial benefits. And so I was so grateful to have those two during some of those hardships in those periods of time, because as a result now, we have been able to do quite a bit of traveling. We have been able to pay off our mortgage for our condo. We've been able to pay off cars. And so for me, I realize if I have something good in my life, I want to share that with other people. I want other people to have that option, and to have a community of resources and a community of support, like what you are seeing today. So that's a little bit about myself and my story, especially from kind of like more the financial standpoint. Um, I will go ahead and turn it over to Miss Lydia Epic, and she can introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her.
Hey, this is Lydia. So glad that everyone's here, and thank you, Dana. I always enjoy hearing more about your story. And what's really awesome is the fact that it's allowed for you to even recently be in a place to travel and to just really lean into all the benefits. So, for our family, we started with Young Living about 5, 6 years ago. And it was also because of wanting to have a more natural way to help our children in their growth. I had already had an experience of going to a doctor, being prescribed something that was not correct, and realizing that if I'm not informed about my health, then who will be? So I learned very quickly that it's important that I become an advocate for myself as well as for my children. So between that and then having a whole collection of other experiences and realizing, wow, there's a whole lot of toxins that are happening in our world and are leading to a collection of some of the things or many of the things that we see, not just physically, but then also emotionally. There became more and more of this drive to share that information and to share that passion and to share that option to people who otherwise might not even think that it's available. So I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're taking out the time to educate yourself as well as to use this as a tool to educate others so that they can make more informed decisions for themselves and for their family and honestly for their legacy. So, welcome. And I'm going to turn it over to Lydia Riley as she shares a little bit about her story, and then we'll hop on in and get started.
Of course, it's better to start talking when you're not muted. Is that better? Okay, good. My name is Lydia Riley. I love my Young Living story. I love sharing my Young Living story because it's really, really unique. And I feel compelled to share it just because it is incredibly unique. I'm married to the former global chief sales officer of Young Living. And so, and just to kind of put in a perspective, like corporate structure or whatever, Ben was so like I said, he is a global chief of sales. So you've got the owner, you've got the president, and then you've got your executive staff. So in terms of just behind the curtain access to everything this company has to offer, I really got that experience for 3.5 years. And what that kind of means is, especially when he was promoted to global chief sales officer, that means, as you can maybe hear in the title, a ton of travel. 60, 70% of travel. And Young Living is a $2 billion global company. So we're talking thriving markets across the world. And so when you have a husband who's on the road 60, 70% of the time, you might feel a little bit concerned, but Young Living was so generous, and they continue to be today. But what that basically meant is that anytime family or there was just travel benefits for the family. And so I didn't have to worry about not seeing my husband for a month and a half at a time. Instead, I could jump on the plane and go with him for as much or as little of the trip, a big trip like that, as I wanted to. So as a result, I got a chance to kind of check out this little blue dot that we live on. And I went to Honduras. I went to Belize. I went to Australia, a few different places in Australia, Darwin, Sydney, Gold Coast. I went to France, all over France, Provence, Marseille. I went to Paris with Young Living. I went all over London. I went to Canada multiple times, all over the US. I collected those Sky Miles. I basically did what every single one of you would do in the same situations, just a good time. And, for me at that time, in that position, I hadn't really been able to travel. So I got the gift of a lifetime to be able to travel with this company. But I did walk away with a lot more than just Sky Miles. There's a few other things. Obviously, I do the business now that really impacted me for the rest of my life. The first thing is really lifestyle. So what I noticed, it wasn't just like traveling and incentives. That's a good time. It really is a good time. And when you're hanging out with people who are earning those trips and there because of the work that they did and how proud they are, there's just a different vibrational level. I love the community that I got to kind of be a part of and to experience. And, while my husband's off working, I got to kind of do my own thing and experience the membership and the people. That was all such an amazing gift that I had to give. I had a lot of lengthy conversations with people who were incredibly successful at this business. What a gift. What a gift. And I loved it. I loved every single minute of it. Besides the wellness and the travel and the community, I also got a firsthand look at what Seed to Seal actually means. And if it's okay, I want to take just a minute to kind of talk about Seed to Seal. But Young Living is Young Living is the only company that owns our own farms. And so that really means something. It changes kind of the standard and the quality that goes into the products. Okay. So while I had these products come into my house the whole time my husband worked there, I was kind of like, I don't know. Why? Because I'm a snob. I'm a wellness snob. I was already buying all organic. I was all buying all this stuff. So I needed to do my research and I just didn't get around to it. When I'm getting these, I'm like, I don't know, Ben. I don't know. Until I went to the farms, and that changed everything. So just a couple things about Young Living's Seed to Seal quality commitment, because that's what Seed to Seal is. It's on every single bottle. It is Young Living's quality commitment. The first thing that goes into that is obviously seed selection. Did you know that all the seeds are hand selected heritage stock, meaning none of them are GMO, none of them are hybrid, none of them are nothing non-organic. They're the most healthy, vibrant plants, and the seeds are selected from that. So the moment that those seeds go into the ground is another part that we can talk about. Most organic produce, so like the berries that you buy at the grocery store, in order for them to have that certification for organic, they need to be pesticide free for 7 years. Young Living goes the extra mile, and they won't even look at the purchase of a farm, of the dirt, of the earth, unless it's pesticide free for 50 years. 50 years. And you know, I actually had a chance to meet Gary Young. He's one of the founders. He passed away a couple years ago. And so I would just be tagging along with my husband while he's scoping out land, and kind of got a firsthand view of just how kind of crazy these standards are in every little meticulous part about farming standards. Even the partner farms that Young Living has. So there's the ones that Young Living owns, and then there's partner farms. They actually have to go through a comprehensive training of all the seed to seed standards in order for Young Living to have that partnership. So they have the very same seed to seal standards as Young Living, and that often takes years, guys, years for them to get up to the standard where Young Living will actually consider them a partner. So they, let's see, partner farms. Did you know on every single farm, so during harvest is something that seems pretty straightforward. When you get blooms on the flowers or blossoms, whatever, pick them, they're ready to go. But that is not the case with Young Living. There's actually a mini greenhouse lab on every single farm. So during harvest, they pick sometimes up to every 15 minutes. They're picking a leaf or a plant or a flower, and they're squeezing out a little bit of the plant material onto these little sciencey glass things, and they're analyzing them just to make sure all the components are there. Uh, Not just components, all the optimal components are there in order to be ready for harvest. Insane. There's just so many ways in which the quality of Young Living products surpasses all others. You know, it's funny because I was at or I made a post. Sorry, I just dropped something. I made a post on TikTok. You can follow me on TikTok. And it was about oils. And somebody commented in there something about you can get that for $5. And I just remember going, you know, I'm good. I'm good because I've seen it. I know how much extra work it takes in order to have really good quality. I'm the kind of person that grows my own garden. I buy exclusively organic. Why would I want a highly concentrated anything? Okay. And when you're concentrating plant materials, you're also concentrating any kind of pesticide, any kind of herbicide, any chemical toxins, they're being concentrated into that bottle. The last thing I want is a $5 lavender. It's worth way more than that to create it with quality. And so you know, that's just kind of going into a little bit of um, the quality control that's taken. And so as a result, and I want to say, okay, that's just a little tangent on Seed to Seal. There's classes exclusively dedicated to going through Seed to Seal. But just in my Young Living story, that was the thing. That was the number one thing that had me opening up all of these bottles, dumping lavender all over my life. That's when my a little obsession over essential oils really started, was when I went on the tour of the farms. And the last thing actually that I had access to was just, like I said, all of these leaders. And something that really surprised me, I remember the exact moment I was in Hawaii. We got upgraded to a bungalow because the president of Young Living at the time couldn't make it. And so my husband was the next guy up. We got this incredible bungalow and hosted the diamonds to our, at the, for a little kind of cocktail party. Okay. And it was so, so fun. But I remember, um, I remember my husband kind of saying, "Oh, let's make it just a little bit fancy. These are the diamonds." And I went, "What do you mean diamonds? I don't like, what do the diamonds make?" Like, what are we talking about here? And he proceeded to let me know that, each diamond there was likely a six-figure a month earner, and a month, six-figure a month earner, or high five-figure a month earners, and that so many of them were multimillionaires. And I remember starting to look at the compensation structure at the income disclosure statement, which will be available for you. Maybe someone can find the link here, or else I'll get it for you, about what the income potential truly is for this company. And once I was able to see that really this is about lifetime, or lifestyle, are you committed to a healthier lifestyle? Do you enjoy really quality products? Great, because you can love them out loud and be compensated for it in this type of business. And the thing that makes it a little bit different than, and the reason why I really focus a lot of my attention through my social media audience that I've been growing is because of something called geometric progression. And there's a book called what is it? Richard Bliss Brooks. It's called The 4-Year Career. He goes into um, detail about what geometric progression does, but it essentially compensates you for training people to duplicate what you're doing. So you love it out loud, you good at sharing it. It's not actually that hard to sell to sell anybody essential oils. You just have to use them. In fact, when I meet any of my friends for a hike, for anything, they usually comment on what I smell like, because I'm always smelling like oils. I open up my purse, I've got 5 oils spilling out. They know they can come to me for oils. What do you got on? Try a little bit of this lavender. It's actually so easy to share oils. And really the secret is being able to teach other people who love oils to just love them out loud in the same way. Geometric progression really, really changes the way that you can turn your ability to make this commissionable income into a residual long-term retirable income potential. And like I said, I met plenty of women who make 6 figures a month. My own enroller is a Royal Crown Diamond. She's earning over $150,000 per month. But the most kind of motivational thing for me was really meeting people who were paying their mortgage with their Young Living business. Their Young Living hobby is paid off their car. Smaller little milestones like that are completely, completely realistic and so, so common with a business like Young Living, which is why I think it's really, really smart to focus on that. Because we live in a world where you can really promote almost anything. You could send people to an Amazon link. You could send, it's really awesome. And you can always recommend your favorite products, but not all of them are going to pay you back in a way that is so compounding. So that is my personal Young Living story. If you don't mind, Lydia, will you go into your product? Are you usually after me?
Yeah, I can hop right on in if you like. Yes.
Product, and then you can hit me back up, and then I'll pass it back to Dana at the end. Is that good?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. All right. So with the items that I'm going to share, these are items that are found in the International Premium Starter Kit. So when you're starting in various parts of Africa and in Europe, this is how most people will get started. And what I love is that it's basically a toolbox to allow you to reap the benefits of all these wonderful oils. There are hundreds of oils. You have single oils and you have blends, and all of them are designed and are created with a purpose. And in many cases, if you're not sure what to do with an oil, you just keep it simple. You just open it up, use one drop, and then just go from there, and the oils will speak for themselves. So the ones I'm going to be sharing about are ones that are really near and dear to me, especially during this time of year. So first up is lemon. So I will let you know that when you're getting lemon, you will get it in the kit. It's a 5 milliliter bottle. This is a 50 milliliter bottle. I looked through my entire house and all of my bottles are this size. We go through lots and lots of lemon. It's amazing. So lemon is really wonderful because it's not only bright and refreshing in terms of its scent, it's amazing during this time of year when we're in the Northern Hemisphere and things are getting very dark and cold much earlier. So of course, we're doing things like upping our vitamin D, making sure to get in that extra exposure. And this is just a way to help to add to the happy. So I love to use this in the diffuser. I'll mix it with other oils and blend it with other oils in the diffuser. I also like to use this one in my water. So I'll just do a drop in my water and it just gives a nice bright flavor to it as well. So lemon is phenomenal. Next up, I actually have two. These are both in the kit and they play off of one another. So this is Deep Relief and this is Pan Away. So as you can imagine from the names, you've got relief that's deep and you have pan that is now going away. So with these two, I enjoy using these guys back to back. So if you want to think Batman and Robin, right? You got your two friends together. So Deep Relief is one that I enjoy using before I go off and do a workout. It has just a really nice subtle aroma. It has peppermint, lemon, wintergreen is in here as well as some other oils that are just really great for helping to soothe the muscles, soothe the skin, soothe the body. So I really enjoy using that. Then afterwards, depending on how hard it is that I've worked out, then Pan Away is phenomenal. And Pan Away is one that when you get your kit, you do have the option of putting a roller fitment bottle on top. So it's just a little black cap that you'll put on there. And anytime someone gets a kit, I immediately am telling them, you want to put the fitment on this one, because if not, I promise you, you're gonna just roll right through it and not even realize what's happening. So this is equivalent to, let's see, if you've ever used they're the Asian muscle patches, right? So it's like a really thick plaster that you can put on your back or on your shoulder whenever you have just those aches and pains. I was a huge Chinese muscle plaster gal. So even friends of mine, when they would go overseas, they would say, hey, what do you want? And just get me the plasters. Then I found this, and this is much healthier. This is much cleaner. I can actually read the ingredients because it's not all in a foreign language. And I know that it's been sustainably and organically collected. So this little lovely is phenomenal. And I highly recommend it. Anytime there's any kind of, I'm feeling muscle stuff, nerves feel a little bit off, that's my girl. Then to finish up, Ningxia Red. This is an antioxidant drink. And with Ningxia Red, you're going to receive 2 single pouches. I will tell you right now, it's kind of like, once you start, it's you will realize the benefits, and then you'll go, oh my goodness, where have you been all my life, right? So this is what I will take every single day. My kids take it, I take it, my husband takes it. My kids have been taking this since they were literally 6 months old. So once they started eating, they were getting some of this. And the great part about Ningxia Red is that it's an antioxidant. So what does that mean? Anti is talking about going against or reversing. Oxidant is talking about oxidation. If you're going, oh my gosh, this sounds like I'm in science class, I'll make it simple. So if you remember back in the day when you would cut an apple, maybe you did this experiment as a kid or you've had this happen in your house, especially if you have little ones, they eat one piece of an apple, just 2 bites and then set it on the table. Well, when you leave that apple on the table, it's going to start to brown. It's going to start to basically oxidize. That's what's happening to it. Now, if we put something on the apple or we use something on the apple, we may be able to stop the browning or slow down the browning. But when you think about what's happening to our bodies, we not only have the ability to stop or slow down, we also have the ability to reverse. So with the primary ingredient in Ningxia Red, it's the Ningxia wolfberry. So it's an organically grown wolfberry. It is highly prized within Asia, especially in China. And it's known for its ability to help with longevity of our cells. And as well, your cells build up your organs build up your body. So it's a whole process of helping to bring if you will, anti-aging benefits. So for me, it has been phenomenal with keeping my immune system strong. It's been phenomenal with keeping my memory and my body just feeling at tip-top shape. Cannot recommend it enough. And the cool thing is, again, you start off with 2 of these, and then you're going, you know what? I'm thinking I might need to get a pack. And so they do come in sets of 30, and they're phenomenal size. So those are my friends, and then I will turn it on over to, is it for you, Riley?
Yes, back to me. Okay,
Yeah.
so my 3 oils that I want to highlight, I'm going to start out with something that we all need right now. It is Young Living's most famous oil, arguably, but it is Thieves. Thieves is a blend of 5 different oils. We've got rosemary, lemon, cinnamon, clove, and eucalyptus. Each one of those oils individually really support a number of systems in your body. As we heard Lydia talk all about lemon, that is such a powerful oil, such a great mood booster. But it is also it's also a great cleaner, which is why Thieves oil is featured in the Thieves oil is made into household cleaner as well. It's made into a chest rub that I absolutely love as well. I use Thieves toothpaste. This oil smells like Christmas and is really your immunity go-to oil. I'm diffusing this like crazy every single day. I apply it to the bottom of my feet as well. I dilute it a little bit, put it in a roller, and roll it on my little guy is 2 years old, and I roll it on his feet as well. So far, we have escaped being sick this winter, and I really attribute it to how much more we're diffusing. I'm just hardcore about it. I'm being really, really unapologetically diffusey in every single room in my house. So that's Thieves. The second oil that I have to talk about is my gateway oil. It is my darling lavender. And lavender is the first oil that became a hitchhiker in my purse. I take it everywhere. I actually put a little roller top on lavender just because it's easier to apply it. What don't I use lavender for? I think the biggest thing that I do use lavender for is because I am an anxious person, and lavender is used in a lot of places outside of the US. It's used, you can get a prescription for lavender in order to calm your mood, to calm down, to address anxiety. And so I really use lavender liberally all through the day, but it is also my go-to sleep oil. And I partner it with my second oil that I'm going to talk about, but lavender. So calm, anything calm related. I drop it in the bath for my baby. I go to sleep with it. And I also add it to my sleep blend with my third oil that I'm going to highlight, which is cedar wood. Man, cedar wood. So I did a camp out in the redwoods about a year ago. And the way that I slept during those 5 days surrounded by these huge redwood trees, I mean, I'm convinced that those trees grounded my soul in a way that I will just never forget. So I came home and started looking for all of the different tree oils. Cedarwood, it's the cheapest oil. It's like $11, and it has the highest amount of sesquiterpenes in it. And I always think, is that an actual fact? Every time I double check, it's got it's got a ton of sesquiterpenes in it. And what that molecule basically does is it goes, let me read the little definition. These compounds are known for their calming properties, and they also can be supportive of the immune system in protecting us from harmful microbes, acting as antioxidants, and assisting in cellular repair. Sesquiterpenes, there's some research about DNA repair in our limbic brain. Lydia Epic is so good at talking about this emotional part of our brain, the most ancient part of our brain. But basically, when we're using our sense of smell, we're communicating directly with that most ancient part of our brain. So if you notice things that are happening physically, you smell something delicious, you're probably going to start salivating without really meaning to, right? Or you hear a song, or I'm sorry, there's just ways in which this part of our brain communicates with our body without us doing anything. And so I really recommend cedarwood at any time when you feel like you need calming, but even just using it regularly for other issues, it's phenomenal to address attention issues in children. So I combine this with lavender, and that's my duo at night, every single night. A pretty inexpensive little thing. And I used to take melatonin. I haven't ever really been into sleeping meds, but maybe over the counter medications once in a while. And I've gotten rid of all of that. I can go to sleep with my cedarwood and my lavender. It's like my brain has been conditioned to relax in a way that is really, really helpful when you got little tiny kids, okay? Anyway, so it's your turn, Dana. Tell us about those oils.
Yes, love that. Love that. Thanks, guys. I always love the way they teach and explain things. It's so, so powerful. So, my three oils, first and foremost, is Aroma Ease. And it's funny because I didn't even need to go look for these oils because all three of them were like at my disposal because I use them so much. And it's funny because this Aroma Ease, he's almost gone now. I used it a lot while I was in Utah. So last month we spent the entire month in Utah, and we actually stayed in an area. Um, it was called Eagle Mountain. And because of like the altitude, so anybody that knows me, I actually just get really, really bad like motion sickness, altitude movement, like all of the things are just terrible for me. So this was my go-to. This was my best friend. So Aroma Ease actually has in it peppermint, spearmint, cardamom. It has fennel in it. So you can think of all of those wonderful, wonderful things for your digestive system, but it actually works within that equilibrium. So what I would do is I would actually put a drop on my thumb, and I would, like, I'm sucking my thumb like a child. I would put it at the roof of the top of my mouth, and it would almost immediately take all of that wooziness feeling down. I actually used it. This was one of the second times that I used it. And another beautiful thing that Young Living has is their aroma rings. I don't have one in now, but the aroma rings, actually, you can just go ahead and put them in your nose. And so I would use this in the aroma ring. And the aroma ring actually has the one I have, Aroma Ease, on it. So this same oil that I'm using in the bottle, you can also get it in those aroma rings. And you can get all of that to help kind of balance. So I love this as well as another blend, Digest. In your kit, you'll get one or the other, because they really, really support every single thing when it comes to your digestive system. It's safe for your little ones. It's safe for you. As we talked about with that seed to seal and quality, purity matters, right? In some of the markets, you will find that you won't have things that are specifically labeled that they can be taken internally. But here in the US, those same very oils can be taken internally. That is a big red flag. If your oils or your company is steering you away from taking it internally, then it probably is not pure. If it's not pure enough to be ingested into your body, it's not pure enough to be even put on your skin, to be diffusing by your babies. You want to be careful of that. My next blend I want to talk about is RC, respiratory and congestion. I love, love, love this blend. It has 3 different types of eucalyptus in it. It has myrtle, spruce, a lot of those nice menthols. So this was one that I just gravitated to and loved. Another blend that's similar to this is Raven. I use this a lot with my son. So my son is asthmatic. My son, when he was little, I actually used to like go under his bed while he was sleeping, and I would listen to his breathing to make sure that he was like breathing fully, like, because I was so nervous. What I would do with this RC is I would put just a little bit, I would dilute it on the bottom of his feet, and I would diffuse it in his room. And almost immediately it would help to open up those passageways. Another great, great way to use RC is maybe if you are working out or you're doing anything else that you need a little bit more support in that respiratory area. I even think about right now with the big C thing going around. Of course, that is directly attacking lungs, right? So you want to give yourself just a little added support. So rub this on your chest, rub this on the baby's chest. Even if you're a mask wearer, put it in the mask. This is going to really, really help to just open up and fight off anything that could come by. My last blend is Valor. So love, 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 love Valor. This is like hands down my like, this is my home dog. Like when I say like, I legit like, there was a period of time where because of reformulation and because we care about the planet, we could not get Valor. Like it was limited to where you could only get like one bottle a month. And so each month I would get my Valor and I would like legit get it on other people's account too. I'm like, oh, you're not gonna get your Valor? Can you order that for me too? And when I tell you I had like a whole stash when it came to Valor. This is my liquid courage. When I tell you like Valor, the tree oils that are actually in Valor are incredible when it comes to like strength. So those particular trees, they withstand harsh weather conditions. They withstand harsh climates. That's the same frequency you're getting in your body when you're using this beautiful, beautiful grounding oil. So I love, love, love Valor. I'm telling you, I have like multiple bottles around the house because it is just such an amazing oil. I love it too because a lot of people that I'll get sometimes people where certain aromas like, oh, they're like, oh, I don't like floral. And I've even got people I don't like the tree oils, even though I love tree oils. But usually Valor is a fairly neutral one, fairly one that I'll have men, they're like, oh, I like that, or things like that. So love, 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 love Valor. Make sure you get your hands on that as well. So those are my three. And I will turn it back to Miss Lydia, and if you can close out for us.
Absolutely, sure. So if you are new here, then there's a couple ways that you can get started, and that's whether or not you're just interested in trying a few products for yourself, for your family, or if you've had someone pop into mind that maybe has a few ailments, you can absolutely get back together with the person that invited you to this class and figure out the best way that you can get started. There's a few different kits that are available. You could even customize a little bit. So just get back to them. For our business builders out there, really, this is something that is so easy. It's so, you actually don't need anything different to do the business than you do just to get started with oils yourself. It's always a really good first step for you to just get your hands on these oils. I always say, open up the bottles, get in there, open up every single bottle, smell them, ask what you can ask about the different ways that you can use it. There's tons of research online, but
Did we lose her?
I think, oh yes, oh no, I think we did lose her. So I was going to say, I guess I will pop over as the other Lydia, right? So as a business builder, this is an incredible opportunity to just slide on in and become all the things that we've talked about today in terms of being someone who not only advocates for your own wellness, but then is showing and sharing with others how possible it is. It is just that simple. We are very much a company that is about being a product of the product. That's how people know who Young Living is. It's not with this massive, type of marketing where you're seeing all sorts of things everywhere. It's on us, and they're allowing for us as the members to be part of that process of sharing with others. And when we do that, that means that we're able to connect in ways that are just really, really valuable. And in addition to that, I always like to point this out because I've connected with people who have done other types of businesses and felt like oh goodness, okay, am I going to have to keep some sort of inventory or keep all these things in stock? And do I have to do all the things? You are just simply using the product for yourself and your family, and that is enough to then keep your business rolling. That's it. So it's so plug and play. It's phenomenal in that regard. And I'm sure that Riley, I think she just hopped back on. I was feeling for you. Yeah, if you want to tag.
Sorry about that. You'll hear me okay.
Yes, yeah, you're good.
Perfect. Thanks for jumping in there for me. I don't know what happened to my laptop. I'll have to figure it out later. But yeah, I mean, I just picked up on what you were saying about the ease to get started, even in the business. Like I said, it doesn't take anything different. You get started with whichever kit works for you to get started, and you automatically get a link, and the link is a referral link, and that is how Young Living pays you. And you could take that referral link and just pay back your kit if you want, or just try to order a little bit for your friends and family if you want. But if you run with the business, then get together with whoever invited you to this meeting, and we can talk to you about how to share and not make it weird, how to stack people on your team so that you can take advantage of the compensation plan and really maximize it, how to motivate, how to use your oils. And really all you're doing is using your oils, and you're just loving them out loud. You're loving them in a way that other people can see. And you're not doing anything different in that way. So thank you so much for attending the class. We're so excited that for your journey, and we're so excited that you came today.
Thank you, everybody. So have a good one. Take care.
Have a great one.